Hello guys, Mike at Aurora Productions. I hope you're well. It occurred to me that I hadn't really done a video for the last kind of week or so on this channel, and it also occurred that I haven't done what is customary for me, which is to go and kind of talk over what I accomplished in 2020. Normally, really the last sort of probably 3-4 years, I've done a video at the end of each year kind of summarising what had happened during that year, and I just didn't do it last year because I kind of didn't feel like it, to be honest, and I decided to kind of do that in this video alongside kind of talk of some of the new things that I'm looking to do next year. So what did happen last year? Well, I scored the short film Fragments, which has won 5 awards. So this is over on the michaelwbale.co.uk website. So we got the first win there, which was at the monthly winner at the Changing Face International Festival in Austria, where it won Best Sci-Fi Short. It then won Best Sci-Fi Short Film at the Screen Power Film Festival in London. I then won Best Soundtrack at the Out of the Can International Film Festival in the UK, which, you know, that was probably definitely a big highlight for me last year. We then went on to win Best Sci-Fi and Fantasy at the Alternative Film Festival in Toronto, and we won Best Sci-Fi Film at the International Monthly Film Festival over in Slovakia. The KIMFF. So those were all kind of real big things, both for me and for my colleague Andrea Ratti, who directed the film. And of course all the cast and crew. Is a really kind of great project for us because it was completed during lockdown in terms of the post-production, and I think it was something kind of positive that we could all focus on and aim on doing during those lockdowns. I have released a vinyl of the score itself, and there's some photos of it. Kind of these are kind of blueprints, if you like, of the work. But that is out. It's available over on the Aurora Productions website, and that was another big achievement for me in terms of that being like the first vinyl, if you like, that's been released. It's over there on the shop on the Aurora Productions site. There it is. And that was really cool. Limited edition, so there's only 20 copies of it. But it was kind of a real sort of passion project for me, and I'm really pleased that I managed to do that. So it's also out there on Bandcamp and everywhere else. So that happened. In October, I was alerted that some of my music got used for Discovery's Primal Instinct. So they synced 2 of my cues, Nature Seems Dead and You Killed Our Baby, which is actually a cue from Blanket, sorry, a short film I scored back in 2016. So that was really kind of cool news to hear. And kind of from that, I signed an agreement with the publisher there, Myeb, who I'm now with through AEPL, to kind of put out all their well, not all of it. They've obviously got other people publishing their stuff other than just me. But basically, I signed a 2-year agreement with Myeb to anything that Aurora does in terms of me as a composer is going out through them to be synced through on the TV. And I just realised I didn't do a blog post about it or any sort of post online. So that was a bit of a failure there. I probably should have I think I put it out on Facebook, but I didn't put it out anywhere else. Outside of that, from me, you know, I put out a single, Afterburning, which was kind of like a mix or a remix, I should say, cover of the Afterburner 2 video game soundtrack. That was just a bit of fun. So that's gone out on all the networks, and it's also on Bandcamp. So do check that out, guys. And if you wanted to have a listen to that, that was good fun. Aurora itself, we had 3 releases last year. Which was Skye Quake's Thank God for Rock and Roll, which is a really cool single. Again, it's available to buy and stream pretty much all over the place. It's even out in kind of China and South America, so do go and check that out. It's a really cool track. And obviously we had Fragments, which is an LP from me, and a single of my Afterburner record there, which I discussed. So we had 3 releases, which was cool. In terms of the guys, Iceni, we got in touch with Christoph Speidel, the logos, who's responsible for doing a ton of logos in the extreme metal world, and more recently he did some stuff for Rihanna and Metallica and stuff like that. So he's a really do check out thelordoflogos.com. if you're into this kind of stuff. And he's just released his new book, Archaic Modernism. And yeah, he really has done some serious amounts of logos that span mainly the extreme metal world, but he has started doing things in the pop world as well. And examples for things like Bruno Mars and things like that. That was the Rihanna logo that he did, which he did use. It was projected, I believe, on some sort of massive backdrop. So Christoph is a really cool guy. I did do an AuroraCast podcast with Christoph. So if you head over to AuroraCast on the AEPL website, he is here. Where is he? Christoph Spidell. So episode 13, you can watch that interview on YouTube, and it's also on all the podcast networks. So that I would urge you guys check that out if you want to hear about Christoph's work. While we're on that subject, another thing I started last year was the podcast. So we're now in the 18th episode. And I've spoken to a bunch of people from kind of all over the spectrum of arts: actors, composers, DJs, film directors and producers, graphic designers, musicians, podcast hosts and radio hosts, sound engineers, illustrators, and I've sort of done some of my own solo podcast. I've only done one so far, but I intend on doing more. So the podcast was a big thing, and that's being supported by the guys over at Droplet.fm. So thanks guys again for allowing me to kind of have a voice on the podcast networks outside of YouTube. If you go to hosts, we are missing a few here, but this is all the guests from AuroraCast so far. So there's going to be Richard Jacksley and Emily Jackson added to this list soon. So you can head over to Droplet.fm, and if you wanted to read more about Stephen Hope Wynn, for instance, then there's more information about Steve there, and all the other guys. So that was another kind of big achievement for me during 2020. Skye Quake, busy band. So for Iceni, that was kind of besides us. Sorry, I didn't finish that off. For the promo video for Christoph, Iceni's track through the Shroud of Heritage, which is an intro track, was used by him for his Kickstarter campaign, which was really cool, given that Christoph had done not only the Iceni logo, but he's done the logo for Skye Quake as well, which you can see here. So really cool to be working with Christoph twice there. So Skye Quaker, busy band. In terms of news for them, we not only did they unveil their new logo and their new lineup. So the new lineup currently is Stephen Hope Wynn, who is the vocalist and songwriter. You got Ben Furley-Ford, who is the lead guitarist and songwriter. George McFarlane on the bass, and we got Joshua playing drums. Josh is a new addition to the band. So we got their logo kind of announced and their lineup announced. And we also revealed some of the session musicians that are going to be playing. I need to update this to add George's name. Not George's name, Josh's name. So we got Devinder Singh Bedi, who's a composer and producer on the track Five Claw. Simon Cohen on drums for Thank God for Rock and Roll. George Rekal on the drums for Queen Kong. Then obviously is going to be Josh on the remaining of the album. We've got Andy Prince from Sham 69, Mike Garson, who was the pianist for David Bowie, Nine Inch Nails, St Vincent, Smashing Pumpkins, the list just goes on. Talisa York, who's an amazing saxophonist. Again, I did an AuroraCast with Talisa, so if you wanted to check that out, she's episode 10, is the episode with Talisa. Then we got Rue Saville, who's played with Florence and the Machines, Nile Rodgers, 30 Seconds to Mars, etc. Sophie backing vocals, Abby backing vocals for mainly for Queen Kong, myself doing some additional percussion, and then we got Dave Parsons playing some bass as well, Sham 69. So all these things are going to be kind of coming to fruition, and moving forward. Richard Jacksley, Hrothgar Vicini, doing a lot of the artwork in terms for Skye Quaker. Well, pretty much all of it so far, really, besides the logo. Thank God for Rock and Roll and the Queen Kong cover were both works by Richard Jacksley, so thank you, mate. Big shout out to you. Again, his AuroraCast is available. If you wanted to hear more about Richard's work, just head over to either the Droplet site, the podcast network, search AuroraCast, or you can find it on YouTube. We also were in the studio, so with Skye Quake to be finishing the recording of their upcoming album until the lockdown hit again. We've been sort of halted on that, but we have got enough recorded to be kind of cracking on in the background. Video wise, we recorded a video for Five Claw, which is an upcoming single from the third and final single from the upcoming album. But there is also a video out there for Thank God for Rock and Roll from Skye Quake, which again you can find on all the networks. Shop. So I released I did the Aurora Productions merch store, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on here, ranging from digital downloads of all the music with high quality versions of the artwork, obviously the vinyls which I did this year. We've got artwork in terms of like an enhanced map poster, mugs, stickers, t-shirts, and more to come. So if you join the the Aurora Productions mailing list, you will get discount codes, and you'll hear more about our kind of it's a monthly newsletter that goes out. You'll hear more about what's going on with me and the rest of the guys, so do join for your discount codes there. So the shop was was definitely a for me it was quite an achievement, and again it was something that I tried to focus on during the first lockdown and achieved fairly well. Rarible. So we've moved into the cryptocurrency network. You can pick up at the moment my album Fragments, and you can pick up Skye Quake's Queen Kong as an NFT, which is on the blockchain. So this gives you, if you buy one of these, you get hold of. I'm going to need to move this over, aren't I? You get hold of the song, you get hold of the artwork, you get 10% off the Aurora Production store for life, and basically as the price of Ethereum goes up, you can donate, you can sell the NFT essentially. So it's a new concept that I'm working on, and as time progresses, there may well be exclusive NFT content which you can only buy through that network. If I'm sounding crazy, there are a couple of videos I've done on this channel. I'll link them. There'll be that side one. I'll link them above, so you can have a look into what Rarible is. But it's something that we're not ignoring at AEPL, and I'm not ignoring as an artist myself, as I kind of get into that world and we look at how the ownership of the world has changed, if you like, in terms of how music's being swapped, bought, sold, whatever else. In terms of alternative social media platforms, I have joined Odyssey for both the podcast, so here are all the episodes so far for AuroraCast, all the lovely people who've joined me in the chats, and this channel is also being mirrored over on Odyssey, so there's all the videos I've kind of ever done on this channel being mirrored over to this platform. So if you are on Odyssey, do go and check it out and support kind of some alt tech, because it is a cool platform, and you can even earn your own cryptocurrency in terms of in the shape of library for watching videos. So yeah, both those channels are good to go. In terms of moving forward now, I'm working on a new personal album which is going to be focused around sleep, and it's going to be taking some snippets from various kind of Soviet era dissidents and things like that, and putting it into an album. So the idea is that I'm scoring a dream, and I'm just working out how that's going to work and how that's going to sound, because it's quite a mental project, and it's quite kind of, it's very introverted, I would say, so it's going to be probably quite an interesting listen, but I do hope you guys will check that out when it's ready to go. I'm still working on the podcast, and I'm still kind of getting people on the podcast to talk about music, film, any creative arts really. If you want to come on AuroraCast, just message me, and that will be really cool to hear what you guys have been up to as well. I am building more around my own personal website, michaelwbell.co.uk. All my content is kind of going over here, all my blogs, everything I've ever really done, just as a way of kind of like archiving my work. If you are enjoying the content, obviously we are in this COVID situation still, there are various ways in which you can support me and you can support AEPL. Just head over to michaelwbell.co.uk/donate and you will find various options. I would really appreciate it because things are a little bit on the dodgy side at the moment, as I'm sure that is true for many creatives out there. There's also donate and support options on the Aurora Productions website. For any cash you could spare to keep the electricity on our side, let's say. There's almost going to have been things that I did last year that I kind of forgot. You know, I definitely worked a lot on myself personally. I read a lot of books. I kind of schooled myself on history and got myself back into music theory again, which, you know, is something that a musician should always brush up on and keep themselves kind of like moving in. Picked up a bit more of the guitar, you know, and started kind of focusing around those kind of things. I think YouTube wise as well, I put out something like 60 videos last year across this channel and the Aurora Productions channel. Please do go and follow both channels. Obviously if you're here, I gather you are watching, but a lot of I think I've still got something like 60% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So please do hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And head over and support the Aurora Productions YouTube channel as well for the podcast. And I think that's all I really want to say. You know, I don't want to bang on for half an hour or whatever. I've been talking for about 15-16 minutes. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're keeping focused, keeping positive. I hope you're enjoying all the content, at least coming from our side of the world. And I hope you'll, you know, continue watching the channel. I'm going to be delving into some concepts of sleep, and as I start doing this album, more and more things I want to talk about will start coming forward, I suppose. So do look out for those videos. I'll do some in-screen stuff again, going through plugins that I'm using and how I'm kind of manipulating some of the audio for the album. But I'm at the stage where I don't want to give too much of it away because, you know, I'm still in the creative process, let's say. So, alright guys, I'll leave it there, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, gang. Bye bye bye.